Welcome in, everyone. Good to see y'all tonight. Hope everybody's doing okay. I got a special guest with me tonight. I'd like to introduce my friend Duke, and we're gonna be standing up here talking about some true crime tonight.
Hello, everyone.
How you doing tonight, Duke?
I'm still a little dopey. I had some minor surgery this after this morning ish. Just closing up a little wound I had on my leg. So they gave me the good stuff, but it's pretty much worn off.
Yeah, it kind of does that. It works pretty quick, but it wears off pretty quick.
That is the absolute fastest I've gone
Yeah.
under. Like usually they put the mask on and I'm still kind of making a few jokes and whatever. And but man, I was out like immediately. So probably a good thing.
So,
So
anyways, when we were backstage, uh, me and Duke were talking a little bit about these serial killers. We were talking about Ed Gein a little bit. Duke has studied on Ed Gein a little bit.
kind of a lot.
Yeah, your wife had told me that he's one of the ones that you have studied on a lot.
Well, with a lot of serial killers, they're obviously just like really deeply evil and they revel in evilness. And with Ed Gein, it's almost just kind of like a whoopsie daisy sort of thing, you know?
Yeah,
I mean, the guy, I don't think he really thought what he was doing was evil, you know, was bad. And there's a certain like gothic element to it too. Like he's just out there on that farm all by himself,
well, he
slowly.
had, like you said, the we were talking about his mother and just the abuse. Well, you had the alcoholic father who was just kind of like dud or whatever, and then pretty neglectful, and then you had this just super strict religious mother
Mm-hmm.
that was pretty overbearing with them.
Mm-hmm.
And he was probably a weird little guy his whole life anyways. So you put weird little people or mentally ill people with other mentally ill people, and I guess you're just asking for a big ass disaster.
Yeah. Well, she also very much instilled in him that women, all women, were evil. All
Yeah,
women, all women were just these painted harlots, and you know, nobody's ever going to love you like your mother. Uh,
yeah,
which
I
I'm,
read where she went to yeah, and she was like, "Oh, they're not married. She's a harlot." And
mm-hmm, yeah. But I mean, yeah, I think she didn't even. She kind of stressed. Yeah, she didn't even want him to get married, and she definitely set him up to be too screwed up to ever like really find a mate. Um, I think
oh yeah,
in the show I watched it, but it was a while ago. In the show, they got a little bit into his brother, didn't they?
they never did an autopsy. They said there was this big brush fire,
Mm-hmm.
and once the brush fire was over, he claimed he couldn't find his brother, and then they found him, he was just dead,
Yeah.
and they ruled it as natural causes, but somebody did write a note that there was bruising on his head. So it's
Uh,
always been a question whether he killed his brother or not.
Also, he ran to the sheriff and said, "I was burning brush with George, and I lost track of him, and I don't know where he is." And when they went out with the search party, he immediately just walked right to where the body and said, "Oh, look, I found him."
Yeah, yeah.
So,
So, well, I watched like the first episode. I mean, like, yeah, the very first episode, and then your wife was like, "Oh." shit. He said that's garbage. Duke said that's garbage. That's Ryan Murphy spin on bullshit. And I was like, I'm not even gonna watch any more of that because I didn't like with the Menendez. So I knew enough about that case that I knew what was gonna be bullshit and what wasn't. And then with Jeffrey Dahmer, it was kind of the same way. I knew enough about that case that I kind of knew the bullshit from the Ryan Murphy spin. But with Ed Gein, I had no idea. Like I said, I won't be able to tell what's bullshit and what's, what really went down.
Well, I did say that after I watched the first one, but I kept watching it and I finished it because they did something very interesting. I think I went into it, and I'm sure a lot of other people went into it too, only they didn't know better, but went into it thinking that this is the Ed Gein story, like it's a docudrama. And it wasn't. It was based on Gein, but then they went into this whole thing about time shifting to Alfred Hitchcock in Hollywood.
Yeah, the Chainsaw Massacre and Psycho, they said was all based off Ed Gein.
Oh yeah,
the movies. Yeah.
But it was based on the book Psycho, which was based on Ed Gein. But Robert Bloch had written this book, and they showed a lot of. There was an interwoven story of showing Alfred Hitchcock and how he developed the movie, how the studio gave him a ton of shit about, this was like in the mid 60s, and the studio was just like, there's absolutely no way you can make a movie about a woman killing guy who lives in the sticks, who has an Oedipal complex, a guy who wants to sleep with his mother and it's digging up dead bodies. Absolutely not. This is not going to work. And like all the stuff, he
said, hold my beer.
Yeah. Like all the stuff he had to go through with the studio to get the movie made. And now, of course, it's
like the most popular thriller ever made. Of course,
it's just a classic. Yeah.
Classic. That's the word I'm looking for. Classic.
And Texas Chainsaw too. I think that movie from the very beginning has always been written off as like, drive-in movie, kind of schlock, but it's a really brilliantly made film. Tobe Hooper, again, went through an awful lot to get that movie made on absolutely no money, and it's that's how he got the job doing directing Poltergeist, because Spielberg is and was a huge fan of Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
I was gonna say they did that low budget with the Blair Witch Project too. With that movie, they went in, just a bunch of young people went in and made a really low budget movie, and then damn, look how that blew up.
Yeah. And I will defend the second one, Book of Shadows. Blair Witch 2 gets a lot of crap from people. It's actually a pretty good movie.
I never saw it. I saw the first one, but I never saw like the second one. I just watched seemed like a lot of screaming in that movie. I remember that part.
Oh, the first one?
Yeah.
We went to go see, Joy and my mother and I went to go see a movie. I can't remember what it was, in New Orleans a long time ago. And it started to flood while we were watching the movie. It was raining so hard, it started to flood. So we got stuck at the theater. So we went and saw Blair Witch. So I dragged my mother to see Blair Witch Project. And about halfway through the movie, my mother turns to me and says, loud enough for everyone to hear, do these kids get killed? I want these people to die. How stupid are these people?
I feel like that in a lot of thrillers that I watch. I'm like, what are y'all doing? Why are you running in heels, or why are you going up the stairs? Hell no, shit, what are you doing?
I can
feel your mom on that.
It was the scene where the kid confesses to having thrown the map into the water, into the creek, like throwing the map away. And yeah, that was it for my mom. She was just like, I want these people dead.
That's hilarious.
But so we were going to
So what's your so I know you watched. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
we were going to talk about Andrea Yates.
Yes, Andrea Yates. Well, it's just a sad case, I think, with Andrea Yates and that new, not Netflix. It's on HBO Max with Andrea Yates because she drowned all of her kids, and they were. But I mean, well, I shouldn't say, but I mean, it was just a horrible tragedy because of her mental condition. But she had children from ages 7 to 6 months, 5 children. The oldest was 7. And then for the first 4 or 3, no, the first 3, he had them all living in a motor home and him leaving her there all day with 3 kids living in a motor home because I guess that was God's will. And he had a good job. Like he worked at NASA. Like he's just a total dumbass. Like, I don't know. I can't deal with him. And he's still stupid when you listen to him talk today.
I cannot believe that man has the audacity to get on camera in front of people and still talk about it. I can't believe it doesn't just live in a cave somewhere. Now he was an engineer for NASA. Was that his job? Yeah. Okay. Houston.
Yes.
And
she was and she was a nurse. Like these weren't dumb people. These are not dumb people at all. Very intelligent young couple. But they got introduced, or he met that Michael Walensky in college, and then he introduced Andrea to him. And his whacked out way of thinking with religion. And we could get into religion all day long, but I can't really follow along with any religion. Like just read your Bible, do the best you can because there's so much, but so between her having they're just going to have as many kids as the Lord will allow them to have. That was their mindset, and that's okay if he's going to put them in a nice big house and hire some nannies, you know what I'm saying? But he's put them in this little box, and leaves her there by herself to go freaking crazy with 3 small children. And then after she had that the 4th one, she totally lost her shit. Like she tried to commit suicide. She fell into a deep depression. She was seeing things that weren't there. She spent time in and out of the mental hospital. So they put her on Haldol, which was working great. She went home. She started being Mommy of the Year again. And then they decided for baby number 5. So she tells her doctor, hey, I'm coming off the Haldol. Yep, I want to have a baby. And as him, he could have been like deer, which he had moved them to a house, I believe, at this point. But he should have just been like, don't you remember what happened the last time? You know what I'm saying? Like that would have been my thought.
Yeah. No, that should have absolutely been it. And I don't understand how he wasn't criminally liable for that decision.
Well, I guess because, what are you going to do? Arrest him for having sex with his wife? Is what I was thinking. Like, what could they possibly have charged him with that would have actually been the law?
Well, wasn't she supposed to not be alone with the kids?
She was. And see, the day it happened, and I remember this from way back, because I remember this case. There was a little bit of a time lapse. He was like having to leave for work, and his mom or her mom, whoever was coming to stay with her, was running late. So there was a opportunity there, and she did what she did.
Yeah, in the span of like an hour or something,
Yeah,
wasn't it?
she I think she started with the youngest, laid them all on the bed. She got to the oldest one fought her, which I'm sure they all fought, but the oldest one was still in the bathtub when they got there. The rest of them were laid out on the bed and I believe maybe covered up. But yeah, that last one was, I guess she just wore herself down. You know, she got that last one, he just wore out and she just left him where he was at. Very, very freaking sad.
Now, I'm again, I'm kind of going from memory here, but didn't she like she waited to uh fill the bathtub with water. She said she waited. There was some reason why it was it was, you could see it as premeditated because
Yeah, she probably waited till he went to work and the
yeah,
mother wasn't there yet. The mother-in-law, whichever it was. I believe it was his mom, but I could be totally wrong. But then as soon as she done it, she called 911 and was like, "Hey, I need the police here. I've done drowned my kids," you know.
my,
And people were just shocked because they said, once again, you know, good mom, this and that, but she was crazy. She lost her mind. Is she where she needs to be? Yes, she absolutely should be in the criminally insane. You know, she's in a mental hospital, and they've actually talked to her about trying to get out, and she's like, "Nope, I'm good where I'm at." She
yeah.
doesn't have any desire to leave. She lives with what she did every day. She works on her mental health, and she makes little crafts and she's allowed to leave like so many hours a day on like a certain day. She goes and sells her little crafts that's like some like street vending thing, and she's perfectly fine. Like where she just doesn't want to be in the outside world, you know.
Yeah.
What?
The young woman, which until she very recently escaped for a few hours or whatever till he caught her again, the Slender Man murders.
Oh, Morgan. I forget her last name. Yes.
Yeah, she she didn't particularly want to leave. She was like, all my friends are in this room. Um, the only person I
Well,
really
with her case though, she should have never been given a lighter sentence. She was like sentenced to 40 years, I believe, in a prison, but the
yeah,
judge put her in a mental institution where she was able to escape.
put her in
And then
halfway
that's
home.
exactly what the hell she did.
Yeah, yeah.
But I felt like she did just run for the whatever she wasn't. But what I felt bad about with that was I was thinking, damn, I hope they told the victim that this heifer has escaped, you know.
Mhm.
Because that little girl, she survived, which I mean she's grown now, but I would hope that would be the first thing they do. But knowing these dumbass, the way the law works,
She
she probably
she is such a
found out like the rest of us did. Social, as sad as that is to say.
she's such a disorganized personality, though. I doubt it even occurred to her, it would ever occur to her to like even try to find the girl, and she
Yeah, she didn't know, and she didn't. She was like homeless, living on the road.
yeah,
I forget exactly where they found them.
it was like a truck stop, I think.
I forgot, but I know they were like she had escaped with a woman, but I thought it was a guy, but I think it was really a woman, maybe like somebody that was wanting to be transitional or something.
Yeah,
But
yeah, it was a
yeah.
transitioning person.
And so, how's all my folks doing over here? Let's see, Connie, Nada, H. Davis. Hey guys, small town girl. Good to see y'all. Hope y'all enjoying our little chit chat up here. I know there's not many of us in here. I'm usually bitching and raising hell, and I usually draw a lot of attention when I'm up here showing my ass. But I'm like, we're doing true crime tonight. We're not doing drama, not tonight. But I said, hell, I'm going to talk about what I want to talk to with this channel. If we want to talk about Hollywood, we'll talk about Hollywood. If we want to talk about a soap opera, we'll talk about a soap opera. Shit, it don't matter.
So, what do you think about that? The guy in Philadelphia.
What do you, Philadelphia?
The grave robber that they caught yesterday.
I ain't heard nothing about that. Tell us. Do tell us. Hey,
It
Mimi Jean.
it's been on the news. They set up a sting. They kind of had figured it out. So they set up a sting and they caught this guy coming out of a graveyard. Philadelphia is, it's a very old city. They have very old graveyards. Guy coming out of a graveyard with basically just a bag. And when I stopped in and checked him out, he was like, "Okay, you got me." He was pretty sure they knew who he was. He had like 6 skulls and several other bits and pieces of people. They got a search warrant for his house. He had the parts or complete bodies of over 100 people.
So he had been robbing graves, huh?
He'd been doing it for a while.
Bunch. Yeah, I was gonna say bunch.
And some of the corpses and the bones were actually from the Civil War.
What?
Yeah. Like that's how
Yeah,
old.
he dug up some old graves. Oh my God.
Yeah, that's how old some of these graves were.
The Pennsylvania Ghoul is what Nada's saying. She's probably seen it today.
Yeah,
One of my mods over here. They called Ed Gein a ghoul too, but his was what, the Wisconsin, the Plainsville Ghoul.
I mean, you have to be mentally ill to dig up graves for any reason. But with Gein, it was sort of a, I don't know, like a life mission thing. This guy was actually selling
the artifacts, or just the.
Yeah.
Well, there's a market for everything. As sick as it is, there is just a market for everything.
I mean, there's legal ways of obtaining. I'm
sure grave robbing's not one of them.
But yeah, grave robbing's not one. like there are people who are just sort of fascinated and maybe they're a little morbid, but there are definitely legal ways to buy human bones. But I think one of this guy's selling points was like, this was grave rob stuff, and
wow. I think you have to be sick to be able to cut up a body. Like, I know surgeons do it, but they go to school, but I mean, just some random, I don't know. You just think about all that. Like with Ed Gein, he had 9 for JJs in a shoebox. Like, just cut your for JJ out and put them in a shoebox. And I'm like, how do you stomach any of that? Like, I don't know.
Just loss of touch with other human beings,
reality,
isolation. Yeah, to the point where the normal rules of society just don't even occur to you anymore.
I guess that part. Just got to be very mentally ill.
Yeah.
I mean, look at Jeffrey Dahmer. But what did they ever really diagnose Dahmer with? Schizophrenia?
No, I don't think he had.
I didn't remember that, but
I don't think he had any mental in terms of like physiological things, like anything actually physically wrong with his brain. I think he was emotionally ill. He struggled with his own homosexuality a lot. He was
a lot of people struggle with that don't do what he done, but shit, I guess everybody handles it differently, but dang.
And he did not enjoy the act of killing. He had to get literally blind drunk to do it. Like, most of the time he would wake up and there'd be somebody dead in his apartment, or he'd be in a hotel room with a dead body, and then he would deal with it later. But he was not a process killer. He was a product killer. He wanted the bodies. He didn't like killing, doing the actual work.
Yeah, he didn't want to never feel like he didn't want them to leave him.
Yeah.
His thing was abandonment. Yeah,
exactly.
Like,
yeah,
he didn't want to be abandoned. I do remember that now.
He wanted a lover who would stay with him, forever.
Exactly, forever. Well, did he die on the same day that they executed John Gacy?
No.
That's
I
some bullshit in that movie, isn't it? Yeah, that was. See, I think Netflix put that. I think that was part of that Netflix series.
Did they say that?
I think in that Netflix series they did.
I think it was several years apart.
I'm sure it was. You know, Ryan Murphy puts his spin on all that shit he does.
Is he producing all these weird
Yeah, all of the monster movies are Ryan Murphy.
Wow.
Yeah, he did Dahmer, and then he did the Menendez. He did Ed Gein, and I think he's gonna do Lizzie Borden. That ought to be interesting.
That I might actually watch.
Yeah, because really, who knows with that one? You know what I'm saying? It's like, who would have thought that she would have been that smart to know things like back? And I'm not saying people weren't smart back then. I'm just saying the lengths that they said that she went through if she done it, you know, is kind of just, I don't know. It's kind of crazy.
I don't know if I've ever studied that one. I mean, I know the general sort of
Yeah, they
somebody
a
came
lot of
home.
people think she did. A lot of people, I mean, she was found not guilty by a jury of her peers, and that was all men too back then. On the juror, because I don't know when women were what year they were allowed to start voting and being on juries and stuff, but it wasn't back then. It wasn't when that happened.
I would imagine after the right to
World
vote.
War One. Right to vote.
Yeah, when right to vote came to pass, right for women to vote came to pass. I think that's when they also started serving on juries, and I think also they could take the bar exam, things like that. Like the right to vote wasn't necessarily just about specifically that. There were a couple other things involved with it too.
Right.
But
Well,
yeah, wow, that's weird. I thought he was just kind of
Ryan Murphy puts a hell of a spin on those movies. That's what I'm saying. That's why when you were saying, "Oh, that's all bullshit," I was like, "I'm not even going to watch it again. I don't know enough about it to know what what would be bullshit in that and what wouldn't be."
Well, they had a whole thing of it, like he was involved with this very pretty girl, and she really loved him, and he was going to propose to her one night, and that was the night that her mom found out she was going out with the town weirdo, and that was just like
That was bullshit. Yeah.
not even close, dude. Yeah, nobody. Everybody thought he was harmless, but he kind of creeped women out because he kind of would. I guess now they call it the male gaze. Like if a pretty woman just walked into the room, I don't think he was trying to be perverted or weird or anything. He was just, disconnected from.
He didn't know how to be. Probably didn't know how to talk to a woman or even flirt or anything like that. Yeah.
No, nothing like that.
Hell no, not with because his mom moved him out to that damn, what was it, 160-acre farm.
Yeah.
She isolated him from everyone. And then the dad was such an alcoholic and the mom was such a religious fanatic. It was just pound, pound, pound all that religion into you. And the dad was like, I'm a belligerent, neglectful drunk. And I mean, it's just, and then you got two kids running around on a farm with no sense of direction.
No. It's also absolutely miserable farm area. The soil out there, they call it the dead heart of Wisconsin. It's essentially like sand left over from prehistoric times when that area was underwater.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, when I've seen the value of that land, like in today's time, all that land was only worth in 2025 $53,000.
Mm.
And I'm thinking over 100 acres is only $53,000.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
You really can't do much with it at all. So they were just barely eking out a living.
Yeah.
I think they owned a grocery store in another small town for a while.
He sold that to move them there.
Yeah, because the mother wanted
Oh yeah, she wanted complete
to
away
get the
from
bull.
that whore town they was in, I guess.
Exactly.
Get away from
Exactly.
all these whores up in this town. I got to move these boys out here on this 100-acre farm because God knows they can't be around none of these harlots. Shit,
in,
no.
in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, again, man, religious extremism.
I don't think we have no Wisconsin people in here. I have a Michigan person in here, but I don't have a Wisconsin in here. Because Connie was saying depends on the land is and what you can do with it, which I mean that's true. And from what Duke's saying, it was deplorable land. The land wasn't worth a damn.
They when he went to, I guess it was Warren, the woman Warren.
Yeah,
he went in and bought a gallon of antifreeze,
I just read that. Yep,
and
that's how they caught him.
the receipt from there was one of the
It was
ways they
yeah.
caught him.
He was the last one to be in the store with her. There was a receipt. Yep. See,
That
I was.
hardware store is still open.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and a friend of mine went up to look at the area, and you can't see his grave anymore. They took the headstone away, but he went up to look at the land and look at the town and everything. And that hardware store is still open, and he went in and bought a gallon of antifreeze.
Holy shit.
And took his receipt, and when he got back, he was like, "You're never gonna believe what I have, dude."
Oh my god.
And it's like, of course, it's like 60 years later or whatever. But he's like, I went into Hooten's hardware store and I bought a gallon of antifreeze, and I got the receipt.
What's crazy to me, Duke, is you had artwork from the Night Stalker.
Yeah, and Otis Toole.
I cannot believe that.
That was my roommate at the time. There's a documentary. If you look up a Tobias Allen, there was a documentary done about him. He was like the big buyer and seller of serial killers artwork. He was we were roommates. We lived in Anne Rice's old house on St. Charles Avenue.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Our house was just full of stuff, and he would just give me little things. But we had Gacy paintings, his little birds. We had a lot of those because they're not allowed to sell their artwork. But they can give it away as a gift. So he would drive up to all the various prisons, and they would give him their artwork.
I'm sure they had a nice commissary for it, though.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. Or like nice shoe, new sneakers.
Yeah, they might not have had like the actual coin in their pocket, but yeah.
Yeah, but they don't need it. They're never gonna be able to spend it.
No, what do they need it for exactly?
Yeah, Tobias Allen. I can't remember the name of the film, but if you Google Tobias Allen, it'll definitely give you the name of it. Yeah, it was really weird because like
I can't believe you don't still have it. I don't know that I can't believe that you had it or that you still don't have it.
It wasn't really my thing, so I ended up, whenever I would meet somebody who was really into it, I'd go like, "Oh, hey, you want this?" And I mean,
I would have been weird. I'd be like, "Yeah, I want that. I definitely want that."
I'd give me some. I had a bunch of Henry Lee Lucas, his boyfriend, Otis Toole. He used to do these, when you're a little kid and you do the turkey drawing, he would do those, but they would be like Carmen Miranda, like with the big fruit hat, like Chiquita Banana.
I got you. Yeah, I know what you're talking
about. Yeah, really weird stuff. Ramirez stuff was just terrible. It was just like big ballpoint pen of like
really, so it wasn't even no good, huh?
It was terrible. And it would be like a satanic pig with a rock guitar and an AC/DC t-shirt. It was really bad.
Yeah, I was going to say I maybe wouldn't have kept that either. I'd have been like, shit, that ain't even a decent art piece of art. Because I mean, but a lot of people are so artistic. I'm jealous.
The Gacy stuff was actually really good. I mean, it was simplistic, but he had a bunch of his birds,
Yeah.
budgies and finches and stuff, and they were really well done. Um,
Well, I
those,
guess when you're in prison for any length of time, you don't have much to do but try to learn something.
yeah, if
Because
the
I know Eric Menendez didn't draw for a long time, and once he was able, I think in the mid 2000s, they were able to like get oil paintings and stuff like that. His artwork is amazing. Like
is it
he does some really nice stuff. Yeah, he's really very artistic. So
now?
it's maybe just a hidden talent that they don't know they have yet. But
Yeah, well, maybe if his the father had encouraged that, he would still be alive today.
exactly, or encouraged his modeling, would have encouraged anything other than do everything as I say and do my little wanky danky for me too while you're at it.
Well,
Shit.
they were like I
I
like
know they were grown. I get it. Like they should have just hauled ass, but they were so dependent on that money. I mean, they were born rich, you know. They were so dependent
yeah.
on that damn dollar.
Well, they like again. I'm into um, not so much true crime uh, as things like Dean or Herman Weiss or the German cannibals. We'll have to do a show on that. That's something I know a lot about. Um,
I remember, yeah, I remember we talked a little bit, touched a little bit on that. Yeah, that'll be like a whole nother show. Yeah.
it's my ethnic pride.
Yes.
For some reason, I don't know why, but German people love to eat one another. But they though. So well, my point was, I don't know too much about the Menendez brothers, but is it true that like they were really rich and they had like a really nice house and everything, but like you would go over there and it'd just be like dog shit on the floor.
I don't
Or,
know that I know they had a maid, so I mean, yes, I don't think they were clean, but I don't think their house stayed messy because they had someone to clean up after them.
that made
Like if it
okay,
was just left up to her, the mother, it probably would have got out of hand pretty quickly.
yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, that was the
But
only
and he was
detail.
such a perfectionist that he wasn't gonna have it like that, so that's probably why he had the maid, you know, thinking, "Hell
Uh,
no, we got a image to maintain here, kitty, shit." You know?
yeah.
"You can't keep this damn house clean, I'm gonna get a housekeeper, son of a bitch."
Well, LA is all about that image.
Oh, yeah, especially out there in Hollywood, that's where they would, um well, I
It's
think let's see, they went up for parole what in August of last year, and I think they have 18 months. They could very well get another parole here in this year. They
really
very well could. They say it's anywhere between 2 and 3 years, but actually they say it could be anywhere from 6 months to 18 months. They could very well get another parole here in this year.
now. Do they still talk? Are they still close?
Yeah, they're in
Um,
the same
yeah.
prison.
Oh,
They
really?
weren't for yeah, for 20 years they were separated in different prisons. The only way they ever communicated was through letters. And I think in 2000 late 2018, 19, somewhere along in there, uh Lyle had been such a model prisoner that they let him choose to go be at the prison where Eric was at. So,
Mhm.
and now they do what is it, something space project. It's where they have one side of the prison where it's all murals and paintings, and it gives them all a chance to express everything. And it's like they get to plant trees and different things. It gives them a little taste of like the outside world, you know.
Mhm.
I forget what that's called. They do it in oh, Spain, not Spain. Where is it? The Netherlands or somewhere, and they say it's very popular there in the prison system. It encourages you to do better, to see what you're missing in the outside world, and not want to re-offend. And it's all a mental thing, you know.
And it makes them it makes it much easier, I would imagine, on the prison administration if everybody
Yes.
wants to behave. They're not constantly running around putting out fires.
And it was crazy because hold on one second. I'm going to mute out just for a second.
Mm-hmm. For our viewers at home, I'm going to smoke a cigarette.
Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. So what was we talking about? The Menendez space. Anyway, so you can only, what they do with that program though is they don't put like all model behavior prisoners together. They kind of mix it up. Like people that are in there for life or people that have a chance for parole, they mix it up a little bit so that you kind of learn to work as a team, because that's what being in the world is all about, you know, getting along with other people and stuff, to see if you can be rehabilitated and stuff like that. But even the lifers are like all for it because it gives them time, you know, to I think it keeps them out of their cells and stuff. Gives them lots of outside time. And especially if they love to paint, it gives them, you know, ample opportunities to show off their artwork and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I think at one time Lyle Menendez was even training animals, dogs for like the blind, disabled people and stuff. So I mean, they've done a lot of good. So
very another progressive program that is very successful. Yeah, that it's good to have those dogs trained for people in need, and it definitely the prisoners get really into it, and they
I was gonna say a lot of prisons do that. Like a lot of the prisons do that for the animal, you know, training the animals and stuff.
They don't want that privilege taken away, so they're really on their P's and Q's.
Right. Green Space Project. That's what that the Menendez are doing. It's called the Green Space Project.
They're kind of experimenting with cats too, aren't they?
I don't know. I haven't heard that.
Yeah, you can earn enough privileges that you can have your own cat, and it gives the prisoners something to kind of look after and take care of. And of course, you know, it's
I'm lying because I do remember seeing like some of the world's worst prisoners, like on documentaries, where they are allowed to have a cat. I do remember that now that you said that. Yeah.
And same thing, like they get really into it and they don't want to lose the privilege, so they're
exactly
behavior problems just kind of plummet.
Yep. It's all, like I said, it's all their mental, you know, what they can. It's all to do with, you know, getting them to a stable mentality, I guess, and keeping them on a certain level. Plus, it's less work for, you know, the outbreak of fights and all the shit the guards have to deal with, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there should be an element, not an element. I mean, prison should be punishment, but it also, particularly in, I mean, you take away a man's freedom, that's punishment, dude. You know,
it really is, and I do believe in rehabilitation. What I don't believe in is anything to do with kids. Like, to me, that's where I draw a line. Like, if it's anything to do with the kid, dude, you're done, you know, as far as I'm concerned.
But in prison, that problem takes care of itself.
A lot of times you would want it to take care of itself a little bit faster, and it don't, because there's plenty of it that still need to be taken care of when it comes to kids.
Well, yeah,
I think a lot of times that's why they're segregated too. They segregate them out, and I'm like, fuck that, put them in there, shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
That'll make it or
Well,
break it. Stop.
segregation doesn't always work, though. Yeah. I mean, if somebody wants to get at somebody
Oh, they're
in
going. Yeah,
prison,
yeah.
eventually, I mean, you've got 24 hours a day, every day, to think of ways to do it. You know. So, yeah, that doesn't always work. But there should be, in addition to punishment, there should be more rehabilitation, I think, for prisoners, especially like maybe non-violent drug offenders, and
Oh, definitely that. Yeah, like the non-violent, like
yeah,
you said.
you,
They
you take
definitely.
you take somebody who just wanted to get high and throw them in prison. By the time they get out of prison, now they really are a criminal,
Right.
for sure.
Mama Bear, you want a link? You want to come up and say hey or anything? You got a minute? I don't know if she does or not, but I just seen her in the chat. But anyways, yes, absolutely what you just said. Um, but I know I was going to tell you the characteristics of Ed Gein and Jeffrey Dahmer, like their demeanor, their like out of placement sense of humor was the
Mm-hmm.
same.
Mm-hmm.
But one was criminally insane and the other one wasn't. It's kind of, I don't know. It's weird, isn't it?
Well, when they said when the first woman disappeared and everyone was freaking out, and they said Ed came into whatever local tavern he would occasionally go drink a beer or two after his mother was gone, and he came in and they said, did you hear Elaine's missing? And Ed Gein goes, she's not missing, I got her up at the farmhouse. And everybody thought like, oh, Ed, that's in such bad taste. They thought he was making a joke.
They didn't know that half of the shit that was up at that farmhouse. And
Yeah,
they didn't know shit till they got up there after that woman got they found that woman in his shed and went in his house and was like, what in the hell have we stumbled upon here? This bullshit.
and that's for a small town cop in the 50s.
Could you imagine?
Like we're sort of we're so numb to it now. I mean, you can jump on.
We are.
Online.
It's sad though, isn't it? It's so sad. But yeah, can you imagine? But I really didn't realize. I don't know why I was thinking Ed Gein was more like in the 1800s, or late 1800s. I never really realized he made it to the 80s before he died.
Oh, yeah.
1984. Yeah.
Yeah. There's an issue of Time magazine with him on the cover that I occasionally go to, like, used bookstores and antique stores, and we kind of hope they have. It's worth an insane amount of money.
I was fixing to say, oh my God, if you could ever come across that, how crazy would that be? I'm surprised one of your crazy friends don't have that.
Well, that's how I learned about it, because Tobias was like forever, on the prowl for that issue of Time. But
so it's Ed Gein on the issue of Times. Oh, I'm gonna start looking too.
Yeah, or no, it's Life. It's Life magazine.
Oh, it's Life magazine. I'm gonna write that down. I thought I was. Maybe I'm not. My pen's at loss right now, but I'll try to. You can. Oh no, here it is. Yeah, Life magazine.
Yeah, it's like.
Do they even make Life magazine anymore?
No.
You'd have to find that in Grandma's attic somewhere or something.
That's exactly. Probably there are a few copies in exactly that.
Yeah.
So somebody's got like a $20,000 issue of Life magazine and doesn't even realize it. But yeah, the article was like, shocker in America's heartland. Something along those lines.
Man, could you find? We would never get that lucky ever. Shit. Come across, or we'd find something and not know it's worth anything. Be like, oh, that ain't worth shit.
Yeah. Well, that's what happens with so much, like valuable stuff is somebody just thinks it's junk and just throws it away and
Yeah. Yep.
not realizing.
They don't realize what they have. What
They
do you
used
think
to-
about the pennies going out of circulation? You think they're going to be worth anything?
Not for like probably a couple 100 years because there's just so many of them. You know, I mean, think how many. There's probably a couple billion pennies
Yeah, there's billions. You're right.
floating around. So I'm sure someday in the very distant future, a 2021 penny will probably be like a collector's item. But I don't know. I mean, I guess.
I don't know either. And I'm always like, I don't know about coins. Like, I know we have certain ones that, come through and want certain coins and stuff, but I really don't think they're worth that much. They still wouldn't be working where I'm working if they were worth that much.
I mean, aren't like Buffalo nickels are worth like $20 or something? Or if you find like a 1932 penny, it's it might
I
be
don't
worth
know.
like
You'd have to ask
$50.
you probably have to ask your wife about that. I'm not real sure really what the value of them are, but she probably knows.
She found a couple of old like silver dollars, like literally silver dollars, and I think they were worth like $50. Probably more for the silver than anything else.
Yeah. Well, what do you think? Should we start buying gold? Is the dollar bill even gonna? I mean, is the paper money even gonna be worth anything before long?
Well, I can tell you not to buy any crypto.
Well, I wouldn't buy crypto anyways. I wouldn't. Yeah, I wouldn't do that anyways.
I completely don't care what any of the financial experts. Some of them say it's worthless. Some of them say it's the next thing. I'm not putting money in anything that has absolutely zero behind it. It's literally just a very long string of encrypted alphanumeric gibberish. That's all it is.
Right.
And if dollar, it used to be if the actual dollar became useless, there was still the gold. But
see, Connie in chat said she's in a Facebook chat, a Facebook group about coins, certain years and even newer ones that are cut with a dash or nick. Huh.
Yeah, I've heard. Yeah.
Now I don't know. Mimi Jean, are you in our country? I'm not sure because she said their pennies have been gone for 4 years. She said buy shares in coffee. That's where the money is. That's Mimi Jean said that.
When
did you find them?
Very recently, I guess he's finally retiring. And Warren Buffett sold all of Berkshire Hathaway stock because he wanted whoever comes after him to start over. But he sank a lot of money into alcohol. It was the only thing he's invested in this year was booze, distilleries, alcohol distributors, and things like that.
I'm set. That's what she say. I'm set. She said she's got some from the 1940s. Oh, Mimi Jean's Canadian. Okay, so their penny's been gone for 4 years in Canada.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't, yeah.
That's interesting, Mimi Jean.
Now, the ridges, that was to prevent people from shaving, I guess when coins were made of silver.
Chick, are you still in here? Tom, come here.
Is that right? Does anybody else?
Tom's gonna say hey. There's Duke.
What's up, Duke? How y'all doing?
I'm all right. How are you, sir?
Good. go get your vape. We'll be back.
Okay.
I'll
Found
see
your
y'all later.
cigarettes?
No, baby.
Well, he found them. Okay. He's in and out. You know, he's headed to get my vape. Hey, turn that light out back there behind you, please. Thank you. Let's see. Yeah, Connie, a lot of people keep do that, keep them from their kids' birth year and their birth year and stuff like that. Yeah.
Joy for a while was giving me when she would do her count out at the end of the night when she was bartending. She was for a while. She kept giving me these. I had like probably 10 of them, $20 bills from 1969, and they were in like perfect condition. So somebody obviously found like their grandmother's coffee can on top of the fridge. But yeah, that's my birth year. So I had a bunch of 1969 $20 bills that somebody had obviously had squirreled away for like years.
Wow, that's crazy. Wow, that's the year I was born. Oh, okay, Connie. Yeah, I'm a 66 baby, so I'm a little bit older than y'all, but not much. Y'all right behind me.
God, when I tell kids, technically I was born in the 60s. They're just like astounded. That seems like,
Well, no, what's astounding is when they ask for your birthday on the computer and you start scrolling and scrolling and scrolling to get down to your birthday.
You got to do the
I'm
wheel.
like, oh my God. Yeah. Like, and a year later, I'm still scrolling trying to get down to the year I was born.
I always get bored and space out, and then all of a sudden I'm on like 1901.
Yeah.
And I have to like go back.
Yeah, the long scroll, exactly, Connie. Let's see, we don't have $1 or $2 bill in paper. They're coin now. That's Canada. That's Mimi Jane. We don't have $1 or $2 in paper. They're coins now.
Okay.
So the Canadian $1 and $2 are coins. Guess like a peso, and a peso a coin. Yeah.
Yeah, and yens. There can be up to 100 yen coins. I think several countries do that.
Yes.
I still have a 10 franc note. When I was a little kid, I grew up in France, and
I was fixing to just tell everybody you grew up in France.
Yeah. It was different.
Dude's had quite an interesting life. He's had an adventurous life, to say the least.
So far,
his head is full of knowledge. I can tell you that, full of great knowledge. This is just the tip of the iceberg, because I'm telling you, you can sit down and just talk to him for like a couple of weeks, and he'd still just be full of all the stories and know all the things.
Now, if you want to do an episode on the Butch DeFeo murders, the Amityville Horror, when I spent every summer and Christmas vacation and every summer up until the time I was about 26, I spent it on in Amityville, Long Island. And if you went across my grandparents' backyard and cut through this little row of hedges and then cut across Marty and Susan's driveway, there was a house.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was in California. Oh, no, that's in New York. You said Long Island. I'm thinking, no way, you ain't been to California. That's New York. I forgot. And see, so you've been there 100 million times, huh? To the Amityville house.
Walk past it on my way to the pizza place. Yeah, 1,000 million times. I don't remember the incident, but my grandmother hated that family. She even years after they were gone, she hated all the Conjuring films are based on Ed and the Laurens.
they didn't he just recently die, or she did? Like one of them just recently passed away.
He died a while ago. She recently passed away. She also absolutely hated those people. She
Well,
would just
didn't they send the Annabelle doll on a tour here not long ago?
yeah, and it disappeared.
Do you think it really disappeared?
I mean, he already owned it, so there wouldn't be much in it. I thought about that, but there wouldn't be anything in it for him to, unless it was like insured. But I mean, it seems like that would be something you'd want to hold on to. Now, the theory, of course, is that it just got up and walked away.
The Warrens. Thank you, Connie.
Yeah.
The Warrens. Yeah.
Oh,
She said
man.
it's back at the museum. No, it's at the museum. I think it did find its way back. Wonder where they found it, Connie. Because it got lost in New Orleans. Woo!
Yeah. Yeah, a plantation, a very famous plantation, burned down while she was in town, and people were blaming the doll.
I know. I remember that now. It's been about a year ago, something like that. I remember that's all coming back a little bit now. Yeah,
very
now
recently.
that we brought it up, that's all kind of crazy stuff. Well, Duke, I'm gonna get off of here. We'll call it.
All right.
Call it a night, because I know you've had a long day. I know you got to go eat.
Yeah, I'm very hungry. Well, thank you so much for having me.
No, thank you for being here. And we didn't have many people in here, but it's just because I didn't have no drama going on tonight. But that's okay. It'll pick up once people realize that we're just going to be talking about a little bit of everything, and it ain't going to all the time be raising hell with the other creators. It gets a little nutty on here sometimes, but I'm trying to carve out my own little thing. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
I hear it. Well, yeah.
But you're going to be like one of my guests, one of my permanent guests, because you're so full of knowledge on everything that I'm interested in. So cool. We'll definitely do the stuff on the cannibalism too.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. Let me organize my notes, and
yes.
I'll organize my thoughts on the Warrens and Amityville and all that, because there's some good stories in there.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And you have a great evening. Good night, Good night, Duke. All right, guys. Well, I appreciate the ones that stuck around. I know that wasn't quite what y'all was probably expecting, but we want to try to do a little bit more of bringing Duke on. He has a lot of knowledge in a lot of different areas, and so yeah, I'd like to maybe make him a regular when everybody's leaving me alone and just let me do my own thing, as far as not calling my name every 5 minutes, calling me horrible shit and telling me to go unalive myself and different things like that, so hopefully this will catch on and people will. Yeah, he is. They're really good friends of mine. They're a great couple. And like I said, he was raised in France. And what I'll do is I'll put them both on one night, and because they're total opposite on things, on how they think about things, and they're really funny. But so I'll have to get them both up here one night, and it'll be a comedy show watching them. I'm telling you. Maybe we'll have like a couples night. Me and Tom can get up here, and Duke and Joy can come up here and join us, and like I said, he can pretty much lead the conversation on anything. He knows a lot. So, but y'all, thank y'all so much. Thank y'all for hanging out, and we'll put together a little something else for tomorrow. I'm sure we'll come up with something. Y'all have a great evening, and thanks everyone. Good night.